The Center for Real Impact and Youth Development, Real Platform, is a youth-centric, transformation-driven, non-governmental organization. Our vision: a world where every young person is transformed into a global citizen. Our mission: to catalyze young persons across the world to leverage practical and innovative approaches for global citizenship. Our core values: 1. Diligence, commitment to persistent effort and integrity in all our endeavors. 2. Readiness, agility and innovation in responding to global challenges. 3. Excellence, striving for the highest standards in every initiative. 4. Accountability, ensuring transparency and responsibility to our stakeholders. 5. Mentorship, supporting the growth of future leaders through guidance and skill development. Join us in a city close to you. For more details, call /WhatsApp +23470 4446 4445.
Hello, everyone. Hello, how you all doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Woo! Awesome. All right, so this is our special Valentine edition, and I am really excited that you are all here, to be a part of it. The Center for Real Impact Global doing awesome stuffs across cities, nations, campuses, and then we thought it wise, the management, the leadership thought it wise that we have something, go out on a day like this. And yes, today is Valentine's Day, the day of red roses, chocolates, surprise gifts, and for some people, unexpected bills. I'm sure you understand what that means, right? And I hope I dressed the color I dressed the day, right? Did I? All right. For some of you, or for some of us, today is romantic dinner. For some, it's Netflix and just staying indoors and scrolling. If you're that kind of person, give me that. I'm a Netflix and scrolling person today. For some, it is who is texting my partner at this time of the day. And for some, it's just a normal Saturday, with slightly more pressure from social media. Yep. A lot of people will be on Facebook, Instagram, where else again? Where is that thing that they send to each other again? Snapchats, and all of that, right? So, but listen to me, guys. Valentine's Day has a way of amplifying whatever season that you are in, and you need to understand that, either as a single person or as a married person. If you are in love, it feels magical. If you are single, it can feel loud. If you are healing maybe from a heartbreak or something, it can feel heavy. Wherever wherever you are, I want to speak directly to those who feel left out tonight. Maybe you are not in a relationship, or maybe you just came out of one. Maybe you are nursing a heartbreak quietly, right? Maybe you thought you would be further in your love story by now. Regardless of all of that, your worth, friends, is not determined by your relationship status. I'm going to say that again. Your worth is not determined by your relationship status. Being single is not a failure. You need to understand that being single is not a what? It's not a failure. And heartbreak, whatever it is not the end of your story. So I just thought to lay this foundation, and then we can go into. I see some few people dropping messages already, so I just want us to understand that the season is just the season. We need to just Enjoy it for what it is, regardless of, whatever is being said or whatever is going on out there. So, um, I have a few questions that uh, came in before today, right? And we open it up, to our members, to ask questions. And honestly, right, the questions that came in, we selected a few deep questions, real questions, and then some are vulnerable questions. And we're going to find a way to address this within the short time that we have. We have questions about love, we have questions about dating, we had questions about marriage, and all of that. So, I'll be walking us through some of those questions, right? I'm not calling names or situations. Excuse me. So just relax, open your heart. Let's look at the questions together. And if you have, you want to add some more to the things I'm going to say, you feel free to drop that in the comments, in the chat room, and then let the people who ask this question see it, right? And then we can take it up from there. So the questions, the first question that came in said, "How do I know if this is love and not just attachment or loneliness?" How do I know if this is love and not just attachment or loneliness? Excuse me. Let me say this honestly, right? Sometimes what we call love is simply relief. What a lot of people call love is simply relief. RELIEF, right? Relief that someone is calling you. Excuse me. Relief that someone is choosing us. Relief that we are not alone anymore. So we need to understand that love is not just how you feel when they are present, it is how you behave even when they are absent. That is love. If what you feel disappears the moment they do not text back, they do not text back, right? If what you feel um, disappears when you are not, you know, hearing from them or having the goosebumps, right? That might be anxiety. That might not be love. If you are afraid of losing them more than you are excited about building with them, that may be attachment, right? So love brings stability. Attachment will bring fear, right? So when you are always afraid, when there's that internal fear on the inside of you about that person, you want to double check. For example, if you are constantly checking uh, their last scene, reading meanings to everything, losing your sleep because they have not replied in just 30 minutes, right? That is not peace. Love has peace in it. Love allows you to function. Do you understand? As yourself first. Real love grows your capacity. And so you need to understand that real love does what? Grows your capacity. It does not shrink your confidence. Okay? All right. So the second question, can love grow over time or should it be strong from the beginning? Can love grow over time or should it be strong from the beginning? Let me help you relax here. All right. So love does not always arrive like fireworks, like pop, 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 pop. Sometimes love arrives like a small, steady light, just a knowing, you know. I tell people, right, close to me, that strong chemistry at the beginning does not guarantee strong character in the future. Again, I'll emphasize that. I said strong chemistry at the beginning does not guarantee strong character in the future. So some relationships start calm, respectful, intentional, no butterflies, just clarity. And over time, as trust begins to build, admiration grows, respect increases, and consistency proves itself, then the love becomes deeper and it becomes even more powerful. Right. So again, the question says, can love grow over time or should it be strong from the beginning? You want to ask yourself that, do I feel safe around this person? Do I feel respected? Do I feel seen? You see, fireworks are good, fireworks are exciting, right? But a controlled flame cooks the food. I'm sure you know that. A wildfire would destroy a forest. So you want to be careful that this is not fireworks or just wildfire. You cannot hold yourself, you cannot be yourself, you cannot, compose yourself when you are around this person. Keep it calm, cool, express it, right? Uh, uh, a controlled flame, controlled fire is what cooks food, though. So I don't want you to mistake intensity for maturity. You get that? Okay. All right. So let me check what the third question is. This is funny. Is it possible to love more than one person at the same time? Is it possible to love more than one person at the same time? Let us be honest here. Let's talk, right? Feelings can be confused. Feelings can be confused. Uh, attraction can be multiple. You can be attracted to a lot of people, and a lot of people can be attracted to you, right? So feelings can be confused, attraction can be multiple, but you see, commitment cannot be confused. You will know that this one is committed to me. Commitment cannot uh, be multiple, as it were. So if I would answer this question, you may feel drawn to two people, but that does not mean you are in love with two people. You can be drawn to more people, but it doesn't mean that you are in love with them. So if you interpret you being drawn or attracted to somebody as love, that's where a lot of people miss it. That's where a lot of people miss it. When emotions go ahead of you, leaving the brain behind, that's where issues begin to come up. You see, love requires focus. Love requires focus. Love requires choice. If you say you love two people, what you may actually mean is that you are unwilling. You're unwilling to lose either option. So love is not about keeping options. Love is about making a decision and building on it. When you truly love someone, you do not want alternatives. What you want is alignment. I hope I answered the question. So, the next question says, how do I know this person is serious about me? All right, how do I know this person is serious about me? Watch the person's consistency. That's all. Just watch his or her consistency with you. How consistent is this person? Anyone can be intense for 2 weeks. Anyone can be intense for 3 months. Anyone can be intense for 6 months. Anyone can send good morning text for 3 months or for 2 months. But seriousness shows in planning, in their choice of words. It shows in accountability. It shows in how they how do I want to put this? It shows in how they express themselves when they are around you? Are they clear about their intentions? Or you're just dating? It was Dr. Sam Adeyemi that said many, many years ago that when somebody says that I want to, I feel attracted to you, I want to date you, or I want us to have something, I want us to have a relationship, he said after 2 weeks, right? Oh, I think he said something, or he said, so for what? You need to start asking questions. What's the end of this? And you don't want to stay for too long before you begin to ask such questions, right? We have people who just start relationships and dating without even defining it. So you have to be, the person has to be clear about his or her intentions. Very important. So if somebody says, let's just see where it goes, that's not clarity, that's comfort. And let's be checking it. Let's see how it goes. That's a red flag right there. See where what goes. A serious person will say, this is what I want. This is where I see this going. Let's build it together intentionally. That's what a serious person does. Don't confuse attention with intention. They are two different things. Don't confuse attention with intention. Okay? I hope I answered your question. All right. The next question says, what red flags should I never ignore? What red flags should I never ignore? Let me be practical here. If someone constantly disrespects you when they are angry, that's not passion. That's a preview of what is about to come. I'll say that again. If someone, right, disrespects you when they are angry, starts calling you all kinds of names, you know, rubbish, stupid, and all kinds of things. Let's not even go into the place of lifting his hands, to either push or slap or, and all of that. In fact, I tell people when he's in argument with you or she's in argument with you, and even if the hand just, and then the person brings it down, it's a preview. That's rehearsals. Big red flag. If they lie about small things, they will lie about big things. So you want to watch it. If they lie about small things, they will one day lie about big things. If they make you feel guilty for having boundaries, that's manipulation. It's a big red flag right there. I don't do this. I don't want this. This is a no-go area for me. So if they make you feel guilty for having boundaries, that's manipulation, right? If every argument somehow becomes your fault, then you have to pause. It's a red flag, right? And I am sorry, it's not masculine. I'm sorry, it's not feminine either. Anybody can be the first to break the ice to say I am sorry, but when it becomes one-sided every time, that's a red flag. Red flags are not as loud as we always think they are. They are small patterns. You would see them, small patterns here and there. That's red flags for you. They come in trickles, right? They come in trickles. For example, they borrow money and never feel the urgency to return it. That's an issue right there. They have plans, plans have been put in place and then they cancel them too often. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. What you tolerate in dating, in a relationship, you will manage it in marriage. What you tolerate in dating, you will manage in marriage. Did you get that? So don't ignore your red flags. And if you have more questions about red flags, you can always reach me, and then we can talk about that. Should I address this question? How do we handle differences in values? How do we handle differences in values? Okay. Um, love does not cancel values. I've been around for a while, and I've seen very vibrant ladies, right? As soon as they get married, all the vision, the dream, the drive that they have just fizzles away. It dies off. When I mean, privileged to provide mentorship, you hear, I can sing, I'm going to produce this album, I'm going to write this book, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this NGO, I'm going to do all of those things. And then the man comes into the picture, pew, and then that everything just fizzles away. It's a red flag. It's a big red flag. Love does not cancel values. You can be attracted to someone and still be incompatible. You can be attracted to someone and still be incompatible. If one of you believes in saving, for example, and the other person believes in spending everything, that's not a small difference. That's a major issue right there. That's a future argument waiting to happen. If one person believes in saving and investment and the other person believes in just whatever, let's just spend it. Let's spend it on this. Let's spend it on that. Money will always come. That's a major issue that you want to, pay attention to. If one wants children and the other is unsure about, maybe one wants five and the other wants two, I'm talking to people who are already at that phase, right? That is not something to ignore. You guys have to come to that agreement way ahead of time, right? So during your dating time, during your relationship, you want to talk about money, you want to talk about family expectations, you want to talk about lifestyle, you want to talk about long-term goals. Table it down before each other. Don't avoid conversations because you are afraid of losing the person. Don't avoid difficult conversations because you are afraid of losing the person. Did you get that? Clarity does not destroy relationships. Lack of clarity is what destroys relationship. I'll say that again. Clarity does not destroy relationship. It is lack of it that destroys relationship. I hope I answered your question. All right, let's see. Okay, a few questions from the married folks amongst us. Um, what do you do when the love feels like it has reduced in marriage? What do you do when the love feels like it has reduced in marriage? First thing first, see, stop, don't panic about it. Don't panic, okay? Love in marriage evolves. It comes in phases. And I don't have the time to break this down to us, the phase one, phase two, phase three, and phase four. I don't have, maybe some other time we can go into discussing the phases that marriage goes through. Uh, the feeling when you are dating or when you are in a relationship will be different from that of marriage. You know, uh, that's the truth. I mean, don't let anybody deceive you, right? And this is it. Marriage has bills. Do you understand? Marriage has responsibilities. Marriage has fatigue. Marriage has children. Marriage has deadlines. Marriage has pressure. Dating and relationship doesn't have all of this. Do you get it? But here is the this is here's the key question, right? Um the key question here is, even has the love reduced or has the effort reduced? So I'm just helping you to rephrase the question. Is it love that has reduced, or is it the effort that has reduced? Do you see that? So many couples stop dating each other after marriage. Many couples, they stop dating, they stop, intentional conversations, gift exchanges, they stop appreciations, they stop all the small surprises. Love is not a feeling. Love is not a feeling. It is a decision that is repeated every day. Love is not a feeling, it is a decision repeated every day. So sometimes the spark is not gone It is only buried under routine. It is buried under trying to take care of the baby, trying to take care of the kids. It's buried under kitchen assignments. And that's why, as a man, get into the kitchen, support. I know you may not be able to cook, but you can slice some onions. I know you may not be able to, cook, but you can wash the dishes. I know you may not be able to cook, but you can sit down in the kitchen and let the conversations go in. Can you get me the salt? Can you get me that spice? So sometimes the spark is not gone. You get it? The guy is tired. He's been out all day trying to make sure that ends are met, but then he gets back home to meet trouble. He gets back home to meet complaints. He gets back home to meet fire. Do you get? So when he closes at work, he stays longer. So that by the time he gets back, he just grabs something to eat and then he's gone to bed. So you get it. So start small, be intentional about your conversations going forward. Do one date a month if possible. Appreciate each other every day. Find something to appreciate about her, right? You cannot neglect a garden and then you want to complain that it is dry. Do you get? You cannot neglect a garden and then you want to complain that it is dry, right? So the next question here says, how should couples manage money without destroying the marriage? See, if it's been researched that one major thing that destroys marriage the most is money. And it is because money is emotional. Money is emotional. It is not Money is not just numbers. Money is not just numbers. Oh, 1 million naira. Oh, $10,000. Oh, 1,000 pounds. 2,500 euros. 100 million. Yens. See, love is. I mean, money. Sorry, it's not just numbers. Money represents security. It represents control. It represents sweat and hard work. It represents freedom. And even to some people, it represents pride, right? So the key is transparency and agreement. Before major decisions are taken when it concerns money, discuss it, talk about it. Before you take a debt, before you go into investment, before you give major figures or amount, discuss it, align. Some couples do joint accounts, some don't. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. Some people encourage that joint accounts be done. It's fine if it works for you. See, let's not put ourselves under pressure, right? The joint account can be for shared responsibilities, maybe it's paying rent, or paying mortgage, or for vacation and all of that. There's no single formula to joint account. You must have it. No single. No, there's no formula to that. It comes back to what I said earlier: conversations. The real issue is not structure when it comes to money. The real issue is secrecy on both ends, right? So if one person is hiding the income or spending recklessly without conversation, trust begins to erode in that marriage. So you need to agree together on your goals. Are we saving for a house? Are we saving for a land? Are we investing? What debts do we have? How are we going to pay up these debts? So when you fight about money, you are really fighting about money. You are fighting about expectations, and expectations not discussed would always trigger anger. You will just be angry for nothing because it's not discussed. Do you understand? All right. So when should someone fight for their marriage and when should they walk away? Dun, 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 dun. Drum rolls. When should someone fight for their marriage and when should they walk away? This is sensitive. So I will want to speak carefully about this, right? Every marriage will have conflicts. We need to understand that. Every marriage will have conflicts. Every marriage will have hard seasons. Every marriage will have hard times. You fight for a marriage when there is still respect. Do you get that? You fight for a marriage when there's still respect, when the both of you are willing to grow together, when there is accountability, right? You fight for marriage when there is that. I know we have issues. I know we have our conflicts. I know we have our misunderstandings. But in all of this, we still respect ourselves. We still working towards growth. We still look at these kids and then we're looking at them with the eyes of, greatness in the nearest future. You see, but if there is now consistent abuse, now abuse is not just physical. There are a whole kinds of abuse. There are emotional abuses. There are language abuses. So if there is a consistent abuse, then we move into the main one, which is violence. If there is violence, uh, change, refusing to change despite repeated efforts, then wisdom will speak. Wisdom will speak, right? That's you to decide. But staying in pain is not the same as being strong. They are two different things. Fighting for your marriage would require the two of you. So you both need to sit down and agree. Do we want this to work? One, two, three. Do we want this to work? The second side, one, two, three. We merge it together. So how do we make this happen together as a couple? I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like the way the names you call me when you are angry, and all kinds of all other things like that. But when the abuse is piling up, and then there is, so it doesn't even have to be violence. You wake up every morning, your heart is pounding. You wake up every morning, you don't even know what to say. After good morning, you don't know what to do after good morning, and it's becoming consistent over time. The best of you is now becoming the shadow of you. Then you want to talk to a counselor. You want to meet with somebody, a mentor, a counselor, and then you guys need to talk together about this with him or with her, right? And then wisdom will speak, right? Because one person cannot repair what the two are destroying. You get that? One person cannot repair what the two are destroying. So seek counsel, seek coaching, seek support, but please don't isolate yourself. We've seen situations where, you know, beautiful, women just die like that. Great guys, great men just die like that. you know some heart blood pressure is not just money or expectations not met. Some are, behind behind the walls, and because somebody is not talking. Don't isolate yourself. Speak out and don't let anybody talk you out of that. I've had very manipulative statements like, we don't want a third party in this. See, if you are going to marry a man who doesn't have somebody that he can, he honors, he submits to, that's a red flag right there. If you are dating a woman or a lady who doesn't have somebody that she honors, she submits to, that is also a red flag right there. And we have a lot of that out there today, right? Boy and girl meet, and then pew, they are at the registry. Tell daddy and mommy, and that's it. Then daddy and mommy cannot do much. Believe me, guys. Don't isolate yourself. Having that one person that you both submit to, that can tell you, sit down, let's talk, right? And you know that this is a strong force. You both just need to agree together on that. Do not isolate yourself. If you do and you're experiencing all of this, then fire is ahead, and at that time, there may not be anybody who will be able to quench that fire. That's my submission. We don't have all the time. I still have about four more questions to address, but we don't have the time anymore. I guess we can have these Q&A sessions once in a while, hopefully. But then I hope I've been able to answer your questions. All right. If you have more questions, feel free, to send it out. I know if you can check the chat room there's an email there. And if you want to, you want us to talk about it personally, you can reach out to the office, or you can even reach out to me directly if you have my contact, and I'll be open to talk. If I don't have the answers, believe me, I'll pull strength from some of my mentors, from my mentor, pull strength from people that I look up to, who have better, more experience in this line of this part of life. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you again. I guess that will be in the month of March, but please, there would be some adverts coming. Like our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and all of that. Follow my channel. There's a lot of things happening there. Let me advertise myself. Follow the channel. Great things are happening there. And then you can also buy my books. We have a free one, Awaken Your Day. You can download that. And then every day we have one that way. It's more like a devotional, 365 days. So you're reading one every day, and it's guiding your path. It's keeping you awake and alive, throughout the day. And then we have other books as well. My new book that just came out some few weeks ago, The Future of Leadership. Awesome book. You want to grab that. And leadership is not title, right? Leadership is not positional. Leadership is you, right? You are a leader. It begins by leading yourself first, right? So grab the book, but it's also helpful to people who lead systems, who lead organizations, and even for those who are looking forward, to leading one in the nearest future. So grab the book, Future of Leadership. I think it's on Amazon, and I know it's on Seller. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's on both places. So you want to grab one for yourself and the other materials that we have. All right. Take good care of yourself. Enjoy the day. And again, happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Bye for now.